Every one of our representatives here in West Virginia told us no. We're not going to consider policies for the poor, the underprivileged, the underprivileged, the suffering, our vets. No, we're not going to think about them before we make a policy decision.
During this pandemic, I worked as a server with Waffle House, making only $3.10 an hour plus tips. But like so many essential workers, I never had sick days. I never had any hazard pay. I never had any health care.
Venus was my daughter. Having no primary care doctor and no medical insurance, Venus had to wait to be approved for every medical procedure she received. Then lapsed into a coma, and she finally got that CAT scan that she needed, and they found 2 tumors in her brain. One had ruptured. The next day, we gathered around Venus to say our goodbyes, and we unplugged the tube, and Venus died. No parent should have, in America, should have to bury their child for a lack of medicated space.
I worked 41 years in the coal mines. I have black lung, and it's just unfathomable what these poor coal miners have to go through in order to get what they have worked for and deserve.
I see poverty in my own community. You know, there's a 70% unemployment rate in the reservation right now.
I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was raised poor. My only chance of going to college was joining the Army. We are demanding that we stop spending money on the war economy. We are demanding that we stop the war on our poor.
I'm the one of the many faces representing homelessness and poverty here in New York State. There are many others like me that sleeping in shelters every night, thousands like us that can't afford to find low-income housing. We live in one of the richest countries in the world, and yet people are homeless. That's ridiculous. 51% of New Yorkers are poor or low income. People are not poor because they're lazy and they don't want to work. People are poor because our government is depriving us of living wages, health care, and public assistance. That ain't right.
It's really sad to see what's not been going on, but it's also really, really sad about the loss of 11 people in my family. It's really sad. And the thing that makes it even more angry, the fact to see that people aren't walking around with masks and they're not social distancing in the way that they should. But at the same time, you can't be mad at them in per se, because, they have to work. There's no way else that they can do anything. So I think that we should have something done so people can be able to stay in their houses, so then other people won't have to die and they won't have to see their family members have their last breath drawn.
I'm from Texas. My children's lives and those that are Texas residents are at stake. We have elected officials that are fighting to suppress my vote, but are doing nothing for those of us who lost loved ones in our snowstorm.
My God.
We have those who are trying to prevent us from having $15 a minimum wage, but are encouraging us to pay the energy companies that didn't provide energy during the snowstorm.
Yes, sir. That's it.
I have been forced with many challenges in my life due to a broken system in the state of Mississippi that has a long history of punishing the poor while rewarding the corrupt, elite, wealthy class. The broken system in Mississippi has exploited me as an individual with low wages, my voting rights, being disenfranchised voter, and as a sex trafficking survivor. The broken system that I speak of is responsible for a lot of my brokenness, even into the adult years, but it's not just in Mississippi. It's all over this country.
That's right.
I'm here to tell Congress we can no longer rely on states such as Mississippi that just abolished slavery in 2013 to do the right thing.
I'm a 4th generation family farmer. The market pressures impacting farmers and their operations are affecting not just the health of our farm economy, but also the health of those who live in rural communities. Suicides have increased amongst farmers.
There's a new chemical company that's producing another carcinogen in our community. It's amazing. The people who just started dying of cancer. And when my wife was diagnosed with cancer, I was amazed at the black women that would ring our doorbell and walk in the door and pull a wig off to show my wife that I have it too.
So I am a first-generation student, a food service worker, and a queer person who was born and raised in Knox County, Kentucky. I've at times balanced living in my car, working through jobs to pay for school and save for an apartment, and then doing the same balancing act to pay for various car repairs and rent once I found a place. I was used to watching my mom walk into the grocery store, or waiting to walk into the grocery store until it was cleared out so that people wouldn't notice we had SNAP. I grew up in a conservative and majority white town, consumed with that Christian nationalist outlook.
As an undocumented person, I just want to reiterate that the national emergency that is being put out there, it's not at the border. It's here, at our doorsteps. It's here when we have children that don't have quality air to breathe. It's here when we have parents like myself struggling to pay rent. It's here, and we need to make sure that people know that these 140 million people that are living in poverty today in the United States are rising up and saying no more.
I want to be able to say that this campaign and you alongside with us were able to change the direction that this nation is going towards. And I want to be able to look at my daughter in the face and say, we did this because of you, and we've continued to change because our children need this change. Thank you.
Forward together.
Not one step back.